The bar chart is about cost of living comparison across cities. As you can see, London experienced the highest cost of living, which is almost 3,500 USD per month. The second place comes to Sydney, which is above 3,000. On the other hand, Paris is lowest, which is only 2,000. Overall, it's about the cost of living comparison across cities.
The picture provides the information of cost of living comparison across cities like Sydney and Adelaide. Whereas in the x-axis we have different names of the cities, on the y-axis we have moderate cost of living in USD, which is started from 0 and goes up to 35,000. In the bar chart we have different sizes of bar, and the top one is the London one, whereas the middle one is from the Sydney, and the Paris is the lowest one. In overall, image gives the information regarding cost of living comparison.
The image provided is the bar graphs, which gives information about the cost of living comparison across the different cities and around the world. While the x-axis talks about the different cities, New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris, the y-axis talks about the cost of living, money, and the USD. It is clearly evident that the London has the highest the cost of living, which is less than 15,000, then followed by the Sydney, which is around 3,000. The conversely, the Paris has the least amount of cost of living, which is around 1,500. Another interesting point is that the New York has a cost of living around 2,000 to 2,500. Overall, this image illustrates the cost of living.
The image provided is a bar graph that gives information about the cost of living comparison across cities. While a x-axis represents the cities such as New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris, y-axis represents the monthly cost of living in USD. From the image, London has the highest USD cost of living of around 3,500, and the lowest one is from the New York of around 2,300. Overall, this image shows important information about cost of living comparison across the cities.
The given picture provides information about living cost. From the picture, it is obvious that cost of living comparison across cities, Sydney adjusted, is the subtopics of the picture. In the picture, in the x-axis, there is cities such as Newark, London, Sydney, Tokyo, Paris, while on y-axis, there is monthly cost of living in USD from 500 to 3,500. From the picture, it is obvious that London is at maximum, which is 3,500, while New York is at minimum, which is less than $2,500. In conclusion, the picture provides information about living cost.
The bar graph represent about cost of living across cities. The first key feature of the image is Sydney adjusted. Furthermore, some facts about New York and London is given in that picture. Moreover, some important information about Tokyo and Paris can be seen. Also, I saw some colors in that picture like gray and black. Also, I observed some numbers in that picture like 500, 2000 and 3000. Overall, the data about cost of living across cities is provided in that picture.
The following bar graph provides the information about the cost of living comparison across the different cities. From the graph, we can see the different cities like New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris. From the graph, we can see that the London has the highest cost of living, which is around 3,500, and above that, the city is Sydney, which is around 3,000, and the least is the Paris, which is around 20,000. Overall, from the graph, the picture is all about the living cost comparison of the different countries.
This is a bar chart showing cost of living comparison across cities, Sydney adjusted. X-axis shows cities like New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris. Y-axis shows monthly cost of living in USDs. The highest cost of living was on London, which was $3,500 per month. The lowest was in New York, which was $2,000 per month, while Sydney City showed $3,000 per month. Overall, this sums up cost of living comparison across the cities.
The above graph is the bar graph that shows complete information of cost of living comparison across cities. The x-axis of the graph shows the name of the countries like New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, Paris, whereas the y-axis shows the monthly cost of living starting from 0 to $35,000. Monthly cost of living for the city London has the maximum value, that is up to $35,000, whereas the monthly cost of living for the city New York has the minimum value that is up to $25,000, as whereas Paris, Tokyo, Sydney shows slight variation in the percentages starting from 22 to 23, 24. The graph
This bar chart shows cost of living comparison across cities. The highest value is for London and the lowest value is for Paris. The most significant detail is for New York. The value is between 2000 and 2500. Another important detail in Tokyo, the value is around $2,500. Overall, this bar chart provides clear information about cost of living comparison across cities.
The provided image is a bar graph that gives us information about the cost of living comparison across cities. The x-axis represents the monthly cost of living, whereas the y-axis represents the city such as New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris. From the bar graph, it is very clear that London has the highest cost of living, which is around 2800, followed by Sydney, which is around 3000. However, the Paris has the lowest cost of living, which is below 2000. To sum up, the provided bar graph gives information about the living cost around the cities.
The image is a bar graph. It provides information about cost of living comparison across cities. This bar graph consists of x and y axis. In x axis, it has stated the cities like New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris, while y axis consists of monthly cost of living per USD that ranges from 0 to 3,500. It is evident from the picture that London has the highest cost of living and was followed by Sydney. And lastly, the Paris has the least number of cost of living and New York as well.
The following bar graph gives information about cost of living comparison across the city Sydney's. There are many elements in this bar graph. From this bar graph, I can say that the highest value is a 35 USD dollars, which is indicated by London. If we talked about the second highest value is a Sydney cities, which is indicated by Tokyo. If we talked about the lowest value is a $20,000, which is indicated by Paris. In conclusion, this bar graph is very informative and knowledgeable.
This is a bar graph that gives information about cost of living comparison across cities, Sydney adjusted, while the y-axis indicate the monthly cost of living in US dollars and the x-axis indicate the cities from New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo and Paris. The maximum number of cost of living is in London, which is $3,500, and the minimum of cost of living is in Paris, which is 3,500. And another interesting point, in Sydney city, the cost of living is 3,000 US dollars, and in Tokyo, it's $2,500. Overall, this bar graph gives information.
The image represents cost of living comparison across cities. It is a bar graph. The x-axis of the bar graph represents various cities such as New York, London, Sydney, Tokyo, and Paris. On y-axis, monthly cost of living in USD has been given, ranging from 0 to 3000. The highest cost of living is spent in London City, which is around 3000, and the least amount of spending has been happen in New York, which is around 2000. Paris is at 2000 as well. Overall, the image gives information about cost of living comparison across various cities.